Okay, today is
May 8th.
May 8th of COVID world, and hunt down and eradicate Kevin since he was 5 for no reason, because everyone wants me to have a normal life by exterminating me. Makes perfect sense, and up until 29, I couldn't figure out why I had a problem meeting people, and each person lashed out with anger and rage against me, trying to set me up, frame me with my own brother, all my brother's friends, all my friends. Example, just a quick example, University of Colorado, trying to be social and meet people off IRC internet chat 96 to 98. One girl named Susan Stieber actually drove down from Nebraska to meet me with her friend, trying to prove I'm a stalker. Think about the hate, rage, obsession, not of me, of them, but more importantly, how the fuck does some girl in Nebraska,
Right, that makes no sense.
or Skylar in Florida,
Right.
have this information about me that they're exerting their entire lives working in a mass worldwide conspiracy to get confessions or scare me into confessions that I'm a stalker and a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, don't you think that's kind of juvenile, but
Right, and hypocritical.
it's hypocritical, because if you're following me from Nebraska to try to set me up and piss me off, to get me to go after you, then you're stalking me.
Right.
And a real stalking, not that girl drama. Oh, he called me more than once a day. He tried to kill me.
No, they came
Right?
behind you physically.
Real stalking.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna do a think out the box, and me saying that is a crime, and me doing things that are different than anyone else in the world, even though that's not really that different, are crimes according to the government and my family and psychology community. So much so I need to be hunted and killed for this horrible, reckless, out of control behaviors, according to Mike Huntley at GR, behavior of thinking for yourself. We're going to drive. Brittany is going to, once again, we're going to document the surroundings and do a dual purpose. This time I'm changing it up. I'm having Brittany, I told Brittany this week, write questions, and I'm going to answer the questions. I don't know what her questions are. Usually I write the questions because I have 100 million things going through my mind. Just like at 29, me saying to like a stripper or something, what the fuck's going on? Did I offend someone? Is someone upset? Just ask, because I'm a horrible controlling stalker who says, did I do something? Just ask, tell me what's going on. Mm-hmm. Did I offend anyone? These are all horrible, mean traits, and according to my family, the only good, decent trait is to go buy machetes and hack off people's heads. Right?
Yeah.
At least that's what they're saying. That's not what they really believe.
Right.
Okay, so, and I know I'm talking a million miles per hour because we don't have much time like usual. Let's see. I'm just plugging in some quick GPS. Okay, so Brittany, I guess start asking away.
Okay, so it kind of, I promise there's a progression and a point to this.
Okay.
Okay, so how did you feel about your family when you were growing up, like before 29?
Okay, so before 29, I loved them. I thought they're the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread. And sliced bread, I don't mean anything literal by that.
Right.
It's a term that people use for the people that don't understand, that don't have common sense or the ability to rationalize based on reality. I love them. I thought they were great. And I was walking around thankful that someone like me that struggled through life, my brother got everything he ever wanted. He got all A's. He went to med school. He chugged a six-pack and got A+ on tests. I spent 10 hours reading through, what do you call those things? I read the book like 2 or 3 times over, and then I do the note cards, and I go and get a C. Okay, and it just didn't matter.
Right.
Okay, so college, high school were very difficult for me. Now someone's going to say, oh, well, see, you have motive to hunt down and kill everyone, right? No, absolutely not. I walked around. I would help everyone in my path because I believe that my parents, in their two-faced, demented things I didn't know, were good people,
Right.
because what I saw was a family that never ever had any concern, never asked any negative questions, never brought up issues, never said, Kevin, this bothers me, Kevin, this is wrong, Kevin, I found out that you did this or that, or some kind of argument.
Right.
Never anything about anything. Everything is honky-dory, everything is perfect, everything's great. So what reason would I have to believe that my family was pissed off and wanted me dead?
Right.
Until my mother blurting out at 29, your past caught up with you, and hinting that I need to leave the country, and my father saying I know what I did but refusing to tell me. So no, I thought they were great. Everyone, especially my brother. Even the trivial shit that he did as a kid, like, I didn't know about the movie shit, like the trying to send me schizo messages and popping water beds to hint that he's going to pop my bladder and shit like that.
Right.
And then probably tell the world that I popped a water bed and destroyed the entire house. Okay? I just thought the stupid thing, like I keep flicking you in the back of the ear until I get pissed and maybe try to scare him off me or something like that. And defend myself in a harmless manner. But in my life, you're not allowed to defend yourself. Even tell anyone anything. Mommy, look what Jason did to me. You don't do that. That's what I found out, right? Okay, so that's the long answer.
Okay, and then what happened at 29? Like how did you start figuring out what was happening?
Okay, this is a very, I could literally spend
an hour, a day, 2 days?
No, I could spend a month straight answering this question, but I'll try to put it into a couple of minutes, and you're not going to get the gist of it, but you probably understand. Okay, so 29, I start noticing that first I get a little paranoid vibe. Okay, first, Brittany, you see this backwards car here, or you see this? Oh, see this gray backwards truck over here? Over there, see that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, pickups. I want you at first, we're looking for the patterns, I want you to point them out while I answer this.
Okay.
The pickup trucks backwards in Thousand Oaks, and I had raised black pickups and black pickups here all the way back to Woodland Hills last week after coming here. Raised pickups at all the coffee shops.
There's one.
Right, there's one here, and last week on video we have a second one pointing like this here, and then all the way back to Woodland Hills, we're in Thousand Oaks. They were doing black pickups, raised black pickups in front of coffee shops. So you understand the level of communication being built around hunting me and exterminating me. Okay, so just you focus on.
Where's the back? Oh, backwards. Oh, Jesus. Another white one right there. Backwards.
What do you see over there?
Backwards car. 2 backwards cars together.
Okay, so pairs together. Okay.
There's a backwards mini SUV.
And don't focus on just the backwards, even though that they're part of it, but they're less provable. Does that make sense? And you'll point them out forever.
Right. Another right there. There's another truck. What is that? There's another one. Those two are the same cars almost, right?
Okay, so so this lot is more aggressive than your lot, which shows.
Backwards truck, another one, and cars, and then there's a lot of backwards cars. Right?
Okay.
Oh, and there, jeez, and another truck.
Okay, so we have, I don't know the number of pickups right here alone.
Like 7.
Okay, so shit. The question was,
how did you start figuring out?
Okay, how did I figure out?
Yeah.
I didn't really. Okay, it took me 8 years to really understand everything.
Right.
And I'm still figuring shit out.
Right.
But 28 to 29, I got this paranoid vibe. Like, it seems like everywhere, like people know me. Okay? Now, this vibe came from all sorts of things, trigger mechanisms. It came from a stripper named Bentley saying, "You'll get yours." Okay? Now, strippers don't usually walk up to guys. And I'm not going to go into the whole fourth guy, Rhodey Morales, paid off working with LAPD to say, "Kevin, let's go to strip clubs."
Right.
One in each state. But there's a huge connection there. and then trying to plant a trash bag full of marijuana in my house to make it look like I was a drug dealer.
Right.
Okay, that's pretty interesting that the police are doing that to me. And there's no explanation. Okay, so, except I smoked a joint. I smoked a little weed one now and then in college with everyone else, and Christina Stolinsky in Arizona of IRC found out and went running around saying I'm addicted to drugs.
Right.
Because I simply told a friend in confidence, hey, I smoked some weed.
Right. Like, who cares?
So,
Yeah.
now if that's what your friends are,
Right.
then what are your enemies? Okay, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, you smoked a joint? I'm going to hunt you down with billions of dollars to kill you as if you're the president of the United States, right?
Right. It
Okay, I don't have my hand over a nuclear missile button. I got freaking black lights and...
Right.
right? Okay, so, yeah, okay. So, you have all these weird things. You have the people in the office. You're sensing weird things. I really have to brainstorm to bring back those memories, but things were happening in my office on my computer. Things were happening with the employees that were my friends and employees. Remember that most of my employees were also friends. Tim Thompson I met in the pool hall, sent after me by Steve McPike, who I said you can have free office space because we have common interests. Mike Huntley I knew since 14, sent after me by my brother. So some of the things I noticed on my computer, I typed in Kevin Perlman in Google, and I noticed that there were all these fake accounts under like variations of my screen name, and things from my office computer were being downloaded like flowcharts. There was a company we contracted in, like Hot Body International. All the adult industry will all know who that is through Tim Thompson, and I was putting together flowcharts for a large-scale website to sort of compete with Danny Asher. This was back in the 97 or something, 98 maybe, and that flowchart was being, private things were being taken off my desktop computer and put on the internet onto these accounts that the world could see. But more spookier than that was once I found those, my computer instantly shut down, showing someone was hacked into my computer and taking things off and trying to frame me and set me up and probably putting shit on too, right? And you know, someone could upload something onto your computer and go, he's this and he's that, and I'm calling the cop, right? You don't know.
Exactly.
Okay, so that, people threatening me, people's weird statements at the DMV, then sort of thinking, wait, you know, I just thought that was also a weird statement at the DMV in Colorado 3 years ago, but nah, you know, I'm thinking too much. I don't want to be paranoid, this and that. Bob Sandler, I go out and I buy a new laptop and instantly, Bob, I can't afford a computer. Can I use your computer? He sort of takes the computer and sort of uses it forever.
Is he someone you worked with, Bob?
He was one of my third partner, which Mike brought in. He wanted to kind of replace me, but okay. What Mike wanted to do is he bring in Bob and say, Kevin, Bob's really talented and we should bring him in, and then mentally batter me to death and make me look like a violent paranoid schizo and take over the company. Okay. Now, one of the things Bob was doing, to answer the question as well, Bob was doing this thing like, you know, Kevin, I don't like your friend Paul Humphrey, also sent after me with Mike Huntley at the same time, working with my father on these gun frame job things, with my father's 357, so Bob's asking me these questions to try to make it look like work on my credibility, my character. Because when they get these answers, they give it out to the world. But they usually get the right answer. So they have to give the lie out to the world. Does that make sense? But they're trying to make me think that what they're doing is justified. Okay, so Bob says, Kevin, you know, I don't like Paul. He really annoys me. I want to shut down his website account. Because Signet eServices was an internet host provider starting 97 to 2001 or 2 years. I can't remember exactly. Something like 6 years. Okay, and then they wanted to try to make me look like a drug dealer after that to pretend that none of this ever happened, and I'm not. savvy enough. Okay, so no, Bob, we can't. I don't care if you don't like Paul. He is annoying, but we can't shut down his account.
Right.
That's unacceptable. That's not professional.
Right.
So we don't shut down his account unless Bob does something behind my back.
Mm-hmm.
But Paul Humphrey was always coming after me no matter what, because Paul was exerting anger and rage before and after that, but it was in different methods.
Okay.
Before, and then I started noticing things like Paul was moving, actually buying or renting places by women I talked to on IRC.
Really?
Kevin, will you come over? Oh, everyone, look, Kevin's stalking. So they're taking everything I do out of context and leaving out the full story of things that you don't normally collect on people. And I'm starting to pick up on these things and the little trivial things of like angry people. Like one of the people Bob brought in the office, a web designer called HTML Bum, and supposedly this guy stood out on a street corner saying, well, build websites for food or something, as like a little marketing gimmick.
Yeah.
And then when the shit hit the fan and they started showing more anger, like I go to Cabo and I come back and they've taken my monitor off my desk and using it, and then I take the monitor back.
Right.
I'm back in town. I don't know why you took the monitor, but I'm putting it back on my desk.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, you can't fucking take Bob's monitor. You know, things like that, right?
What the hell? Yeah.
And you're like, it's my mom. What are you talking about? But there were a whole bunch of other, and that's when Mike, his true colors started coming out, and there was like 100,000 related events within a good 6 months of that period, where I started noticing our accounts, the people that were actually getting hosting accounts were using the names of their companies to try to turn me into a schizo. All sorts of shit, right? And a lot of it I didn't want to believe.
Well, of course not.
Okay, like I'm like, no, this can't be happening. But some things were obvious, like the computer being hacked.
Yeah.
The threats, like they'll get yours. The people sort of playing mind games, like strippers named Samantha telling me that she wants to become she's taking classes to become a hypnotist, linking back to a hypnotist that my family sent me to when I was younger, hinting about that, like the little obsession games.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing, based on all their behaviors, that the reason my family sent me to a hypnotist is to create that sense of loss of control. Do you understand where I'm going with that?
I do. I get that.
Can you explain it? I want to see if you understand.
The loss of control?
Yeah.
Well, a hypnotist, well, you literally are not in control when you're under that at all.
Try to speak a little louder.
Oh, I said when you're hypnotized, you're literally like giving somebody else.
And you're not aware of what you're saying,
exactly.
Correct?
You're not in control. You're not like.
Correct. So I had no problem going to the hypnotist. But after I went to the hypnotist, hey, you know what you did. Your past caught up with you.
Like, what the hell?
Did you get it?
Yeah. And
okay.
You're like,
hey, I sent you a hypnotist. Now I know.
Right.
You know what? You know what you did. You better go to a therapist and tell them. Do you understand?
It's bullshit.
Okay, so I'm putting these things together. Now, I'm not going to tell you I'm right on anything, on everything.
Right.
But let's be honest here. Why did Mike Conley want to put our hub, our network switch? Why did he want to use the one? Why did he want to put it in the office next door at Golden State Sports Medical, where my dad wanted me to move in so bad? Like, my father was giving me really cheap office space on Ventura Boulevard, prime location. I'm like, this is great, right? And I get to be by my father.
Yeah.
But little did I know who my father was.
Exactly.
Okay, and my father kept reeling me in. Closer and closer. I want to rid you of the world. Closer and closer. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer, you know?
Right.
Okay.
And he's your dad, so
Correct.
of course you're not thinking.
So I'm not thinking. I'm off balance.
No.
I'm not thinking this guy is my arch enemy. Is that how you say it? Arch?
Yeah, arch.
Whatever.
See, I knew what you meant. Yeah, arch enemy.
Okay, so I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking this is my father. I love him. He paid for my college. I want to help everyone because I'm lucky enough to have shelter.
Yeah.
Not, you got some sicko father going, you're the devil child since 5. I want to rid you of the world. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It took me years and years to believe it, and I didn't instantly know that. It took a good 14 years after Mike Huntley, my father telling Lorena Escobar, hey, Kevin, we want you to do all the networks in our office. Them doing the same things with the network switch.
Right.
Linking into the entire building to sort of try to spy and watch on my computer.
Jeez.
And when I found out, that's when my father fired me with a combination of, oh, you won't go out to dinner with me.
Right. Oh, I remember you told me that.
Okay, so you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know too much information.
Okay.
And this information you know is about fucking offing you, right? It's not... Okay, so... okay, I could talk forever on this, so we should probably...
Next question.
But would you agree, before we go to the next question, that there's enough there that I'm not just paranoid?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Who do you think started the attacks and trying to eradicate you? Like the initial people?
Okay, nothing's directly said,
Right.
but you have to use common sense.
Right.
Starts at 5. Okay? But let's not start there. It starts with 29 Mike Huntley. I've given you enough rope to hang yourself with. I can't set you up. It's your behavior. Susan Donner, they think you're schizo. All connected with Mike talking to Susan, to the psychiatry community, as you see on paper.
Oh, I know.
Susan Donner mad at me for saying it's the devil in the details because she doesn't want to hear the full story. So she says, no, that's not the saying. It's the angel in the details. And then she starts blasting the world. I'm harassing waitresses and employees. Why is she blasting information in the world with Mike Huntley?
Right.
Those are all illegal things.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's not credible.
So. No.
With nor is Mike Huntley. Where are we? What was the question?
Oh, who do you
okay,
think?
so we have Mike Huntley.
Yeah.
Mike Huntley was originally Jason Perlman, my brother's friend. Jason Perlman's statement at 16. We put a teacher in a mental institution. Now we have a bug in your room, and we're listening to everything you do on the radio, trying to turn me into a violent paranoid schizo. Me going, what's this guy babbling about?
Right.
Because I didn't think he had government resources.
Well, of course not, yeah.
And I'm not saying that he really put a bug in my room. What I'm saying is he was probably just saying it to try to flip me out.
Right.
But there are government resources that try to make me look crazy.
Right.
And eradicate me. I was even followed to Brittany's office by a police officer trying to intimidate me. I had a police officer follow me a couple nights ago, leaving my house down in Decker Canyon in the boonies, hinting that I'm a stalker. And they felt like a joking way, like, who you stalking tonight?
Oh my God.
But he wasn't really joking with the situation. And I just mentioned 96 or 97 Susan Stieber from Nebraska, right?
Right.
Okay, so here are connected. We're linked to my brother now.
Okay.
But more importantly, we have a family that no matter what my brother does to me, they're on his side.
Right.
No matter how obvious the proof.
Right.
Okay, now, we're linking to a person in my family.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the question is, there is no doubt what you see Jen Pilchick, Jason Perlman, what he's involved in. We need to deem Kevin crazy, which starts at 5.
Yeah.
There is no doubt it's in my bloodlines.
Right.
With Jason's statement, blood is thicker than water, you need to help me kill Greg, or do things to Greg, and if you don't, you're a dead man. Okay, but now the question is, since this starts at 5, and we had Tom Farley working on me in 8th grade, going ballistic on me because I was too shy to ask out Christy Reynolds. I kept kind of looking at her, not staring at her, just kind of looking at her.
Yeah.
So nothing mean was done, more of like a shy, quiet, passive,
Exactly.
which my mom calls a death stare. So you show there's no middle ground.
Right. There's all or nothing.
Correct. Completely black and white on a like a billionth scale on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so black community hunting me down since 8th grade for kissing a black girl. Traumatized statements that because I kind of sort of bit in like maybe 3rd or 4th grade, I kind of gummed a dude's hand and put it on my shoulder behind me.
Right.
It scared the shit out of me. One of my neighbors that I supposedly tore out someone's throat like the movie Jupiter Ascending. So things are going from like I farted to I tried to gas you to death.
Right.
Okay, so now you understand, especially with Greg Robb coming after me,
Right.
or showing anger that I'm a snitch, I'm dead, for stopping my brother from bashing his skull in with a crowbar by jumping in the way,
Right.
which would never happen unless he was working with my brother, that these things are going earlier and earlier, but now you can put the pieces together that my family is telling my brother
Yeah.
to do these things. Now we have Corey Bixby stalking me at 16, Kevin, will you drive me home? Then crying wolf. I supposedly did something to her because the ride wasn't 100 billionth percent perfect and there was a bump in the road or something.
Right.
We have Mr. Quigley, my PE and English teacher, telling me to punch the bully kid,
Right.
Paul Schaefer, in front of everyone in the class. Now you know, from everything you've seen, if I would have punched Paul Schaefer, Mr. Quigley, and the entire class would have said that Kevin lashed out in anger and rage
Yeah.
and punched Paul Schaefer for no reason,
Exactly.
or tell me you're not allowed to defend yourself.
Right.
So you know there's no doubt.
Right.
And my mother telling me, even though I've never even heard of a similar scenario in my life,
No.
and I've never heard of anyone that would say, oh, well, you know, that's what happens in high school, some bullshit
Yeah.
disinformation. And I never really put much weight on it because Quigley was like the cool, fun-loving teacher that seemed like he had a moment of stupidity, right?
Right.
Okay, like he didn't have a pattern of behavior.
Right.
Okay, so, what's with the hood?
My eyes, the sun.
I thought you were like Assassin's Creed.
No, I know. I'm thinking I probably look crazy with this. Oh, it's okay. This looks
Sure?
perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Or else it's like your eyes like straight down.
Okay, so, or Illuminati, you know. Okay, so,
No.
okay, so you know these things. Now my mother telling me on the phone that, you know, well, you know, we just wanted, you know, you're shy and we want to toughen you up, or something like that, right? It's like, yeah,
Right.
So you're throwing me in jail, and these things are still happening all day and night because you just want to toughen me up to the point where I'm in a cage and can't
Do anything?
do it right. And even though I really can't do much,
I know.
anyways, but get video of mass groups who won't stop.
Right.
Okay, so then we have the things of my brother going out and doing all the shit and saying it was Kevin.
Right.
Okay, so it just goes from thing to thing. So yeah, okay, to make that short question long like everything else, because these are they need to be substantiated and proven. It obviously links from my entire bloodline. At 5 years old, going, Kevin's crazy and we need to lock him away.
Right.
Now, I find that behavior strange because I don't know families that want to lock people in cages or mental institutions for any reason.
No.
And if they feel that some kid is weird or out there, then they have a dialogue
Exactly.
or some kind of communication to their insecurities, concerns, whatever.
Exactly.
So if my mother thinks if my mother's annoyed with me, can't she say something like, Kevin, that bothered me? Well, I'm going to rid you of the world.
Right. She's
Okay.
the same in that sense.
So for all I know, the only link to them saying that I hate her husband, Arnold Silver, the only link is when I was like 14 years old, my feet were kicking a kitchen counter, which annoyed her, and me and my brother were joking. You're just dating Arnold for his money and joking around.
Right.
Just joking, being kids at 14 joking. And that stuck with her with this kind of obsession that I hate Arnold, and Jen Pilchick would have me come out to Florida, keep interrogating me that I hate Arnold and I don't like my mother and this and that. Yeah, these are all weird things. Hey, come out, come see us. And now I'm going to try to get information to use against you based on things that have nothing to do with her.
Right.
Okay? I mean, she wasn't even around at that age when I was that age.
Right.
And why are you trying to get information that I hate Arnold? And the only conclusion I can come to is the inheritance or the will that I never even fucking thought of.
Right.
So we might have a brother at when I'm 5 years old thinking Kevin might get my money, something like that, right? I mean, I'm not saying I know that for sure.
No, but
what I'm saying is shit happens like that.
It does.
So much so that people like Mr. Woodman hired some people dressed as ninjas to kill his parents for the insurance policy. This shit does happen.
Right.
So I'm not saying that's my brother's motive, but I'm saying that there is a possibility that the reason they keep talking about money and inheritances and wills and trying to say I hate Arnold is because they want the money that you don't even know you have.
Exactly.
Right?
That's insane.
Okay, now we had a girl named Fernanda Simi lashing out in my father's office saying, go to the police, don't worry, you'll get your will, in this anger and rage towards me when she's the one stalking me, right? Some kind of weird setup thing.
Right.
And I'm like, go to the police and tell them what? I don't understand what's going on here, right? It's like, well, first when one of the people trying to kill you tells you to go to the police, you're like,
What?
red flag here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of which, I keep forgetting to give you this. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to clarify because I didn't. When I said...
Oh, it's green.
Oh, shit, it's gone.
What?
I had the TV show, the Woodman Show for you.
Oh.
But I lost... Oh, no, here it is. When I said I played poker with Ian Woodman is the son of whatever his name is, Woodman.
Okay.
Okay, not that it really matters, but I don't generally hang out with 70-year-olds or whatever when I'm 10 or whatever.
Thank you.
So that's the Woodman Show, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so we're at the sheriff's station here, and we're just going to document. Oh, wait, Brittany, what do you see?
Oh, Jesus. Backwards truck, backwards.
Okay, that's
All the
interesting. We're
trucks.
down here at Thousand Oaks, Ventura County Sheriff's Station.
Backwards truck.
We are seeing backwards pickups and more.
Everywhere. Everything's
And
backwards, whatever the hell that is. Backwards together.
They're all white too, yeah. Okay, let's go in a little deeper here.
Backwards right there. Two backwards together.
More backwards
more
pickups.
Trucks, 2 white pickups. Backwards police cruiser, I guess. White pick. They're all white. There's so many white pickups.
There was some more. I mean, that's a gray pickup, but
the white one too. Another black pickup, gray pickup, 2 gray ones together, 2 white together. Jesus, how many pickups are there here? There's a ton.
There's
backwards.
2 blacks, black pickup backwards here. Yeah. Okay, so we obviously I'd say 80% of the cars backwards are directed at me, but if we want to keep things provable here, let's stick to the pickups.
There's so many pickups.
Right, something's not right with that, correct?
No, I've never seen that
many
pickups together.
Especially if we take the base, the foundation at your office, where it's more obvious, and we apply it to here.
Right.
You can say that the cops here are involved in trying to make Kevin Perlman look like a violent paranoid schizo, correct?
Right.
Okay,
Jesus,
but yet with this worldwide campaign to do this, there's not a single argument as to what I've done. No direct statement about anything.
That was my next question.
Like, Kevin, you're a murderer. Okay, well, if I'm a murderer, I had to kill someone, right?
Correct.
Well, who did I kill? I can't answer the question. I can't answer the fucking question.
Right.
Okay, well, if you can't answer the question about your fantasies,
Right.
in a factual method, then nobody generally takes it seriously, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, every person that's accused me of something has not been able to tell me specifically
That's what, yeah.
in these thousands of criminal accusations. Thousands.
Not told you
I've
anything.
stalked over 1,000 women.
That's insane. You would never
Not one person can tell me a name or how I did it.
That's because you didn't do it.
Correct. And to make things more obvious, most of them followed me and said Kevin's stalking me.
Right.
Like Heather from Yankee Doodle's following me to Starbucks Encino with the excuse it's because I said hey to her to eradicate my existence with every person on the planet. And so I'm stalking her, and she failed her little frame jobs.
Right.
Kevin, I work here now, come in at this clothing store, come in to see me, and you know she didn't. You know she just wanted to make it look like I'm looking for her.
Yeah.
And so I didn't because I knew what she was doing, because they spent a good 6 years or longer in the boo hall, minute by minute, trying to kill me, working with psychiatrist Susan Donner, right?
I know.
Okay, so you're not going to take the carrot, the babe, and then it's Kevin following me to Starbucks, Kevin did this, Kevin did that, everyone hunt down and kill Kevin, then Aubrey Fisher wants to finish his job, she shows up, trying to make it look like I did something to her, okay, it just goes from one person, sequence lab, next, okay, totally veered off the questions.
No, you went into the next one. So my next question
Okay, what was the next question?
was why? Like why?
Well, we don't know why.
I know, that's like why.
We know what they're doing. We know that they won't give me a why answer.
Exactly.
And we know, most importantly, I can't answer why.
I know.
Most importantly, it starts at 5.
Yeah.
So if my father works on me with Jason Perlman with the media, we're going to try to make it look like Kevin conforms to the media, showing me the movie Wizards,
Right.
trying to make it look like I'm crazy and conform to the movie with my brother, then telling the world after I kiss a black girl that I'm a white supremacist because the movie Wizards is filled with white supremacist Nazi references. You see the connections. My brother's showing me 100 horror movies, saying Kevin's crazy and thinks he's Freddy Krueger or whatever. You know what they're doing, but the why.
That's
The why is like Dincy the crazy hunter. We do not tolerate crazies. We execute crazies. Brittany, what is a crazy? Can you tell me what a crazy is?
No, I mean, like, that's a good question, right? Like, what do they consider crazy?
Correct.
Somebody minding their own business, doing nothing
Correct.
wrong. Like,
Well, that person, they're crazy because they don't talk to a lot of people and they're single and they go to strip clubs.
right, and it's like,
So they're
okay,
crazy and they need to have a bullet put in their head.
well, then they just were talking about, like,
Okay?
a percentage of the population.
But nobody asked. Correct. You're talking about a large percentage of the population, and if you want to apply it to me, I couldn't meet people. They were all told I'm crazy.
Exactly.
Okay? I'm not going to say I wasn't shy and quiet. I was.
Well, what's wrong
But
with that?
that's irrelevant because there are tons of shy and quiet people that people
Don't do this.
either take the initiative or they work together. I'm not a fucking Rico Suave, fucking I'll pick up any chick and fuck the shit out of her and
No,
go
you're not
through
a
a
scumbag.
plethora of them.
No.
But yet at the same time, I'm also a womanizer on their list,
Makes sense.
even though I've pretty much been single my whole life.
Yeah.
Okay, so the why comes down to people like Adolf Hitler. They
Right.
do not tolerate imperfection, and
Or
crazy
anything.
could mean anything. See this guy, he's crazy because people don't wear their
Wearing a
masks
mask.
that way.
Right.
See this guy, he's crazy because he's had 3 wives. He
Right.
divorced and he was married 3 times. Okay, so we need to kill him, right? Because he's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay? How many people have you said, see that girl, she's crazy. She fucks everything in sight. Okay?
I mean, yeah, you can call anybody crazy. You can call
Sure.
me crazy because I'm wearing this thing on my head.
Correct.
to block the sun.
She looks like the Illuminati or someone out of the Assassin's Creed.
She's crazy.
She's crazy, so we gotta kill her, right? Okay, so it means nothing. It means nothing. It's a blank label with no specifics, and you might as well say, well, redheads need to die, Jews need to die, because they're different.
Right.
They're different, and they don't have the right to breathe. Okay.
Right. How does this make you feel? And then I put like different feelings. Like obviously, there's probably
It's beyond any level of
sad,
horrible.
scared, confused, angry, etc.
Because it's a weapon.
Right.
And it's not just. It's not. The weapon is partly doing it, 50% doing it.
Right.
But the real weapon is to try to use it against me.
Right.
That he's crazy.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Okay. Example. Up until 29. I was happy as a clam, and I don't want to say I was like skipping down the streets, going la-di-da-di-da.
But you didn't.
But I wasn't walking around with all this like fucking looking over my shoulder, wondering who's following me and who's doing what. And,
exactly.
but I'm not going to say my life was perfect, and I'm not going to say it was the greatest life.
But it wasn't the worst.
But it wasn't the worst, and it wasn't that bad. And there were things in my life I would have liked to improve,
Yeah.
like everyone.
Exactly.
But it wasn't like horribly bad, and that's why I was thankful. And I was building websites like Erotic Ranch that I could make shitloads of money and help people in my path easily make shitloads of money without startup costs.
Yeah. You were.
And by the way, that website only had 1.5 people in it, was never finished being built, showing that everything I've ever tried to accomplish in life is boat anchored right at the very first minute I think of it and start to do it.
Right.
Okay, so next question.
Okay. What would you ask if you knew that they would actually answer your questions honestly? Like a topic and everything.
Wait, say that again?
What would you ask them if you knew they would actually answer you honestly?
I mean, what's this about?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? I actually ask myself that for several times a week. Like, what the fuck? They won't stop. They won't tell me what the fuck's going on. Why are they doing it? And that thought just keeps you just watching these endless attacks. Never-ending attacks. You're imagining it. Why are you mad at me? Each person I meet is lashing out in anger and rage at me, and they won't tell me. And then I have lawyers telling me not to lash out in anger and rage on the worldwide people told to lash out in anger and rage at me since 5 years old.
Right.
And I didn't even know what was going on. Like, I didn't even pick up on the fact that Corey Bixby at 16 was coming into my life to fucking rid me of the world. And then she lashes out at me because my car breaks, because I'm always building cars, and I asked for a return on the favor for her to drive me home, and I thought she was really cute. I was totally like crush on her.
Right.
And instantly she's all barking at me and angry and this and that. And I'm like, what did I do to this chick? I did nothing. I just, Kevin, will you drive me home? Sure. Okay, now you're a dead man. Nothing. I mean, nothing. You would think that I pulled her over and I fucking raped her and like carved her up and left her breathing or something.
By the way she was treating you?
Correct. And it, nothing. I mean, maybe I sighed, maybe I burped. Well, based on my father's guilt-hidden messages, you want to know what it was?
What?
It was something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
That was it.
That was
Okay?
so nothing.
You probably couldn't even see it on camera.
Right.
I sort of pushed on the gas pedal a little.
Just a little.
And my father hinting that I'm harassing her and trying to scare her.
That's insane.
Shit. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of here. There, over there. My father hinting that I somehow tried to scare or intimidate. You get the idea?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are cry wolf. I call this the cry wolf tactic. Kevin, will you do this for me? Kevin, Aubrey Fisher. Kevin, will you help me with my photography, my photo shoot? Everyone, Kevin tapped my foot by me. He's a troll. He tried to kill me. Everyone, where will I kill him? The cry wolf tactic.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're saying that doesn't make sense. Nobody stands on fucking like news channels saying someone tapped their foot by me
No.
because they look fucking crazy.
Exactly.
So how is this happening? Well, it's happening because it's the government and psychology community agenda to fucking off me. It's not because I actually did anything to Aubrey Fisher.
No.
She was contacted, probably paid off, just like a lot of these people. Okay, next question.
How has this impacted your life?
It's destroyed it on every level. I can't have a life. I cannot. How do you look at a planet of people in the eye, knowing they all got together to exterminate you in horrific methods? They won't tell you what it's about. It's equivalent, it's way past what Adolf Hitler did to the Jews in a different form. Actually, Adolf Hitler's resume, which is scary. They don't feel that what they've done is wrong. This is most important. There's no discussion. Okay, first it hasn't stopped.
Exactly.
Okay, we're gonna hunt you down with a plan of people and kill you, but it hasn't stopped, so you can't focus on anything but like getting video like we're doing now, because how do you live your life with masked daily people following you from place to place with covert mental illness tactics, or not following you but putting things in places like I'm pulling into this random parking lot, we might see pickup trucks backwards and cars backwards, maybe two Civics together.
Right.
Okay, so how do you live your life? If I go out on a date, with someone and I see 5 pickup trucks show up backwards here,
Right.
not here literally, but on the date, then I'm going to be focused
On that.
on 5 pickup trucks following me, trying to turn me into a violent paranoid schizo, and not the fucking date, correct?
Exactly.
I'm not going to listen to a word she has to say, and most importantly, because this is worldwide, she's going to know who I am, right?
Right.
But she's going to say, I don't know you, meaning what?
She's full of shit.
She's full of shit, and she has an underlying statement. What was the word you used? Underlying...
Motive?
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Underlying tone
Oh.
was your words last week.
Mm-hmm.
You do what we say, I own you, you're my slave, you piece of shit. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to go on a date with a guy that says you do what I say, I own you, you piece of shit?
Nope.
Clean my
I
fucking
don't.
toilet, suck my dick, do this, do that. Oh, you want to leave me? Now I'm going to fucking kill you. Okay?
Exactly.
Okay.
So then you're gonna stay away.
So you're going to walk away, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, now the next person takes over. Now the next person takes over. Then the next person takes over. Okay, so what does that say?
You can't trust anybody.
You can't trust anyone, but not only that, in order to trust someone, they have to say, Kevin, I know who you are, this is unacceptable, and this is what's going on, correct?
That's what, yeah, that was one of my questions too.
Okay, but they refuse.
Right.
Every person on the planet, they refuse, you're imagining it, you're crazy, we need to deem you as crazy, we need to lock you in a mental institution. I don't care that you have video, endless proof, beyond any level of proof. I don't care that you have over 100 police following you on 100 different videos from place to place, thugging you, intimidating you, illegal car searches, threats. We won't help you. We won't take the video of people attacking you, paid off, false arrest, you name it. All on video, all proven. Every time we talk on video, I bring a tiny, teensy bit of 25 terabytes
Right.
of what I have, undisputable, correct?
Correct.
On our sessions. We won't watch it. You need to take your website down. We're mad at you for getting video of it. Okay, unheard of.
Yeah.
Okay, now, hey, I have videos of someone trying to kill me or something like this. Well, I'm not going to look at it. You're crazy, and you better do what I tell you.
Right.
And I want to be your friend.
Right.
Okay?
Are you joking?
Would you be like, get the fuck away from me?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's each person worldwide.
Right.
Okay, so how do I, as my father said, Kevin, I don't know how you live like you do. Well, I don't know, Dr. Wildberg Perlman, why you fucking do it in the first place.
Right.
Okay.
So, no, I think you kind of answered my questions too.
Okay, so just to know, we haven't been pointing out many cars, but in this random lot where
Right.
things are down a little, there is a black
pickup
backwards
backwards.
pickup right here. Okay, so now, back to a prior question of yours, now my family with the psychology community are going to say, well, gee, Kevin suffers from mental illness, correct?
Right.
Okay, so it's a catch-22.
No, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And what is the reason they're trying to make me look crazy?
That's the question, right?
Right? That's why it's called gang stalking.
Right.
I'm going to try to make you look crazy, to say you're crazy. If you
Yeah.
say anything about it, you're crazy. We're going to eradicate you because you're crazy. But the original reasoning from day one with the gaslighting is to make me look crazy, to eradicate me.
Exactly.
I don't say one thing about anything up until 29, and then that you're crazy for having an argument that someone doesn't like me.
Right.
As if things don't happen in life where people do sick shit.
Exactly.
Okay?
So what do you, exactly.
And then you have my mom saying weird shit to me, don't be the victim. I should be Superman and die.
Right.
I should walk into blazing fires. Right?
It's hard not to be the victim when you're constantly...
Yeah, if you're the victim, you're a victim. People are victim. If a girl's raped, she's the victim.
Right. Exactly. So, okay. So, say, like, they were to stop, or whatever. All the shit were to stop, they were to acknowledge everything and say, I do know you, this is fucked up, whatever. Do you think at that point, even if that were to occur, would you be able to live, like, a happy, quote-unquote, normal life? And do you think you'd ever be able to actually trust anybody after all this?
Okay, I'm gonna interject a quick thing I forgot to say and then answer that. There's a thing with my father and my family with art, and my father saying something to me, trying to hint to me, saying a lot of artists are tortured.
Oh.
And what my father was trying to say is, while they go through every piece of art I ever create, since 5 years old, is he's trying to hint that I'm tortured and doing all sorts of demented art and shit like that.
Tortured by whom?
He's just making random shit up like he does.
Right.
But I just want to interject that.
Sure.
That he goes, my entire life they're going through my art trying to use it against me like everything else. Okay.
Are we heading back? Sorry.
Yeah, we are. I'm just...
Okay.
Oh, wait, I forgot to reroute. No wonder I'm going in circles.
Yeah, I have no idea where we're going.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so, what was the question was, just say it again.
Do you think, okay, so say they were to stop doing this, attacking you, and they were to acknowledge what, like, they know you, like, what's been happening, what they've been doing, and then it stops. Do you think, like, at that point you would ever be able to even, like, trust anybody or live?
It's like I said, the only people I'll
life?
trust is the people that will admit to the situation, and trust for me actually goes past just admitting to the situation, because just because someone admits to the situation, they might just want to admit it to get close to me to fuck me over and set me up.
That's exactly.
Okay? Now you gotta understand, and this is disturbing to me, because every person I've ever known has tried to set me up or frame me or cry wolf.
Right, that's what's...
Okay, no, I'm not talking one little traumatic experience here.
Right.
I'm talking since 5 years old. Every person I've been in contact with, including teachers in high school, college professors, citywide, statewide, worldwide groups, have been told to eradicate Kevin. Not one bad experience. I didn't know what was going on until 29. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. After I figured it out, it got reinforced because they kept doing it.
Exactly. That's what
Person after person. We're not talking a traumatic experience. We're talking an unheard of
lifetime
situation. Now, how do you let out of right now actively, let's say 4 billion?
You want to turn right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 billion people. Out of the planet, we have about 7 billion people. Let's say 4 billion people are actively taking turns on me.
Right.
But nobody wants to be honest about the situation. I've watched this for 19 years. It's been going on since 5 years old. All the childhood thoughts in my head are now
this thing doing this.
are reinforced.
Right.
Example, I never thought that Greg Wall was working with my brother. And okay, well, now you can amplify that by several thousands of similar situations.
Right.
Okay, so all these things that were going on are now, I'm looking at it in a whole new perspective from childhood that I didn't know were going on. Going, holy shit.
That was Donner
Wait,
Street.
Jason showed me this movie and then he did this. Jason showed me that movie, then he did this. Okay.
Did you see the street? I'm so sorry.
No, what was it?
Donner Street.
Oh, like Susan Donner?
Not cream. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so
Boy, we're on.
just gonna see what this GPS is doing. So that being said, it's not even about traumatic experiences. It's about common sense, correct?
Right.
Common sense says you can't trust people. They're just going to keep doing the same things over. What does Einstein say? If you do the same thing over and over and don't change, you're crazy. Okay, so if I let someone in my life, then I'm doing the same thing over and over,
Right.
because I know what the outcome is going to be. Thousand Oaks. I know what the outcome is going to be. It's going to be the same as the last 48 years until someone comes in my life stating this is wrong and I'm on your side. Not just stating it, but actually being on my side and pretty much fighting against it because just because someone says something
Doesn't mean shit.
correct. It's your actions. And now, that being said, gee, Brittany, what do you think the psychology is going to do with that information?
Psychologist community?
Psychology community. He's crazy. He needs to be locked away. There's no place in society for him.
Right, that's bullshit, though.
Okay, so what is their motive?
To make you out as this crazy man, and to lock you away so that it's basically eradicate, so I don't have to deal with it or like face anything, which is fucking insane to me.
Correct.
Because that we're in like a helping field. Like it doesn't make sense to me at all why they would do that or believe it.
Okay, so you can come to your own conclusions. Hey, we started with something, we fucked up, we can't go back, we gotta cover it up, or
just own it and fucking stop and help.
correct. Or we wanted to execute him from day one. Correct? And my belief is they wanted to execute me from day one because not one person there's no controversy. Do you understand? There's no middle ground. There's no, even in politics, there's
Middle ground?
There's I believe, I don't believe. I think Trump's good, I don't like Trump.
Right.
Trump's racist. No, Trump's not a racist. There's counter arguments.
Right.
In Kevin's life, it's an entire planet against one person.
Right, which makes no sense.
It's unheard of. So now,
What is it?
the GPS is very. So now, I think we're stuck in this little canyon. So common sense states that they are pushing some serious lies at 5 years old and scaring the planet. Does that make sense?
About the person you are.
Correct. Maybe they're saying I tore someone's throat out and I have no self-control. Mike Huntley said it himself. I'm full of anger and rage. I couldn't believe he was saying it. Dr. Alex Lazar found out that I knew that. He went ballistic on me. Psychiatrist Alex Lazar, right by the Encino Starbucks. So there's a correlation between the attacks. There's a correlation between the waitress attacks in Woodland Hills and Susan Donner. And there's a correlation between psychiatrist Alex Lazar and Encino Starbucks mass attacks. You understand?
Yeah.
And they're all cover-up operations. You don't fucking talk.
Yeah.
We're going to kill you and you don't talk and we're going to kill you or whatever, right?
Or we're going to kill you regardless.
Correct, but we want you to have a normal life. Okay.
That makes no fucking sense at all. That's I mean, for me, if I'm trying to think, like, if it was me and in your shoes and happening, I don't think I would ever, I don't know how I would build trust. Like you said, you would have to take action. But then even then, I'd be, like, wary of people. It would take a while.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because,
I mean, I'm wondering, you got to understand that I deal with, I mean, how many incidents is on video today just coming out to Thousand Oaks? Hey, I got now some of them are joking around, okay? Coming out a fire truck saw me, was behind me and turned on his, like, siren-y lights, came in front of me and turned off the lights.
Right.
Okay, he's joking around with me. But there's a problem with these little jokes.
Right.
Nobody will admit to the situation occurring.
Exactly.
Everyone says he doesn't know you.
You're crazy.
And you're a violent paranoid schizo.
Yeah.
So it's no longer a joke. Do you understand?
Yeah, it's not.
Because they're changing the context of the situation to Kevin's crazy and he's imagining it instead of, like you said, owning it and saying, look, we fucking did this to your life. So now, if there's a level of admission, we did this to your life. Now, when I talk to people, oh, you're Kevin Perlman, that's really fucked up what they did to your life. Now you have something to work with.
Exactly.
But
if they don't
I don't know you, you're imagining it, you do what I tell you or we kill you, that's not a fucking joke.
No.
And whether it's said or hinted, it doesn't matter. Okay? Because you can read it. You can read it like Braille.
Exactly.
Okay? And especially if it's repetitive.
Yes.
I mean, I might be in a Starbucks and a girl pretends she likes me and she's talking to me and then a good-looking girl walks by and she starts whistling.
Right.
And it's like, why do you fucking keep whistling at me, right? Or why do you keep whistling when a girl walks by? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, but date me. Yeah, I'm not going to date you. I'm pretty much about to fucking hit you, which is what they fucking want, so I'm going to walk away.
Exactly.
Now the next one takes over. And the next one takes over. Oh, ha ha, funny. The 100 billionth one. Ha ha, funny. I don't get it.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
And then as you're imagining it, and police officers are writing up falsified reports saying you hit people and you're violent paranoid and I didn't see, I supposedly threatened to kill all Starbucks customers, which is what those are the reactions they want, but they never got.
Exactly. So they just lie.
So they just lie. Now you understand from 5 years old what's going on.
It's just.
Okay, any questions?
God.
Or is that all the questions?
Yeah, that was pretty much. I didn't realize I repeated a couple.
Oh.
But just like, what would you want to say to these people? Like
I don't even know what to say anymore because I'm looking at these people with this Adolf Hitler hate and rage, and they're looking at me like you're a horrible monster, and I'm like, but you have no argument. You have no fucking argument. And you're following me around, and you're violating my privacy my whole life, and you're taking everything that doesn't matter, and you're twisting and contorting it into the end of the world. And I can't believe I'm seeing it. And it's like, what do they say? Curiosity killed the cat? Okay? Don't fucking dig through people's life trying to get dirt on them.
No, exactly.
Because all you're going to do is prove to yourself that they're a bad person, correct?
Right. Even if there's nothing that shows that, you're going to create.
Correct. If my mom says Kevin's an evil devil child and she pays off people to hack my computers and she sends women after me 100,000 to prove that I'm abusive to women and a womanizer and this or that, and out of the 100,000 women that attack me, maybe I bark at one or something.
Right.
Oh, look, Kevin's an asshole towards women. Kevin needs to die.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we call obsession.
Exactly.
Okay? Now everything I do on my computer is collected by NSA level. There's worldwide groups watching everything I do on my computer. I do things on my computer to reinforce and expose them. They get angry. Look what Kevin's doing now. They give it out to the entire planet. I prove it. I expose him. The cops run around. They get angrier and angrier. Look what you're doing to us because you didn't go to the police.
Right.
I did go to the fucking police 100,000 times, but why are the police violating my privacy, trying to get anything to use against me, which is unconstitutional?
Exactly.
Because the truth is that if you were to put spyware on anyone's computer, you could make anyone, I don't care who, the priest,
the
Pope, look like the worst person in the world. Exactly. It doesn't matter.
You will find something that you can twist and use.
Okay, but let's take it to the next level. Okay, so everyone is watching what Kevin's doing on his computer, and Jen Hess, one of the people the stalkers paid off to eradicate me, who they're trying to turn around, Kevin's stalking them to cover it up, calls me on the phone while they're collecting all the data off my computer and trying to give it out to the entire planet out of context.
Right.
Kevin calls me on the phone. Kevin, will you check my email account, my Hotmail account? Okay, sure.
Right. She's asking you to.
I'll do a favor for a friend.
Of course.
A friend that I fucked in her house several times. That they're saying I don't know who. I just randomly chose someone. Okay, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure when she jumped on my dick, she gave me consent. Okay.
Right.
So,
I mean, more than once, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure her husband didn't like it, even though I had no clue she had a husband. Okay, so, and you might want to think about those facts. Okay.
So it's like, why wouldn't you just, you had no reason to think that she was trying to fuck
Right, now they're running around Kevin's a homewrecker and needs to die.
You didn't know about her fucking husband. You're not psychic.
I didn't know, and even if I did know, they don't usually go after the guy. They fucking go to the chick's a fucking slut.
Right.
Okay, so you know something weird's going on.
Yeah.
Not the president here, where they're talking about my credibility with whether I'm going to put my finger on a nuclear missile button.
No.
Okay, so will you check my mail? Sure, jump on your computer.
Yeah.
You check your mail for, Kevin's hacking, Kevin's stalking and hacking.
She gave you her information.
Jennifer's email.
It's so insane.
Okay, now they want to reinforce it.
Right.
So they send the next person, Marty Morales. Wait, let's keep doing it. Kevin's hacking people's hotmails even knows.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not doing anything. It's out of context,
Right.
and you're shoving your nose in a business that's not yours, and it's illegal.
That too. Yeah.
How do you? I mean, let's. Even though I'm stating the obvious, how do they have the NSA level hacking tools? No matter what firewall, the best firewalls in the world, they just instantly shred through, and information's going out to the planet to use against me, and people are framing me and trying to set me up over and over, 100 billion times a day. Okay, think about that. Not one person's like,
What the fuck is happening?
yeah.
I mean, honestly, even if they're selfish bastards, I would think they would think, what the fuck is happening? Because if it happened to you, it could happen to them.
Correct. Once you break the Constitution on things like, especially on things like privacy violations, or even if you want to talk about the Second Amendment, okay, right to bear arms. My father's running around saying I'm a crazy person with a gun, where he's paying off Victoria Walker to give me a toy gun for the 30th birthday to try to get expressions. See how I react after his frame jobs with Paul Humphrey and paying off the LAPD to put bullet holes in a 300E Mercedes when I was 16, all linking back to the movie Wizard, saying I conform to media. They should be mad, not at me, at the fucking government, because what that states is by violating someone's privacy, they can figure out a whole new way to kill someone they don't like.
Right.
Based on an information war. Okay?
Exactly.
They're taking fragments of my life, they're taking it out of context, they're blasting it out to the entire planet, they're riling up a worldwide hate army.
Right.
Since 5 years old. And I've been a really fucking good person.
You have.
I've been met with you and talk or we kill you. And this is from random stranger after stranger.
It makes no sense.
Okay, one girl in a coffee bean, I said, I'm going to write a book about my life. And she's with an angry voice, said, good luck with that. And the cops and police were following her around for years. Okay? Why would you get angry at a guy for writing a book about his life?
You wouldn't.
Whether I'm crazy or not. Why do you care?
Exactly. Why does it bother you so much?
Because she's involved in a mass murder operation.
Right.
And they don't want incriminating murder evidence coming out.
Yeah, you have to go under there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, my bad.
They don't want incriminating information that links people in a mass murder operation come to light.
Right.
And there's no other reason, whether I'm crazy or not,
No,
that this is a professional government hit.
Right.
And they've riled up worldwide groups to help them as vigilantes to kill someone.
Which is so
And
crazy.
it doesn't even matter, even if, like, one of their lies is I supposedly stole Kelly Hatch's Jeep Cherokee.
Like, honestly,
It doesn't even matter if I did, even though I did.
Like, who cares that much? That's what's so crazy.
I mean, listen, let's say I stole a car. Let's say I stole a car. I haven't, but let's say I did. Is it okay to launch a worldwide murder operation? I mean, torture, kill, in other horrific methods?
Do you know how many people have to do that? Never done it.
tiny little thing, you have the right to torture and kill you and hunt you your entire life over. That's what their statement is. Violating the Constitution of the United States of America. That's the message. Okay. That's the message they've given to the world, but yet the world's too stupid to figure it out. Now, I don't understand that. Because even though Tom Morley's statement that I think everyone's stupid is a lie, and the statements that I saw an alien in the bathroom is a lie, and the statement that I'm trying to control people is a lie, and me proving that he was contacted at 8 years old to eradicate me no matter what it takes has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Meddling in my life and not being my friend, how can these people not see the obvious? The wrong in what they're doing.
It's like, no, you're torturing like a really good person for being a good person but doing nothing wrong. It's like, it doesn't matter. Basically, like, you can do what they want no matter what. If you're no bad, it doesn't matter. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
So, like, nobody's safe. Like, that's the thing that people do. Like, if this is being done to you.
Don't you see, like, from a psychological, behavioral standpoint, Nazis, okay, Adolf Hitler says Jews are the inferior race, and then you have the people under Adolf Hitler, like Nazis, and they walk around going, those fucking dirty Jews, and they're actually behaving like brainless sheep based on someone just making stupid statements. And they're actually believing it. And a similarity here, and the LAPD and all police departments and FBI worldwide are actually acting the same way Nazis did when Adolf Hitler went running around saying all those dirty Jews need to die. And I understand that there are events that have happened in history that are totally unexplainable, especially when comparing today's knowledge to ignorance back then. But what I don't understand is that there's zero controversy, because even in the fucking back days of Jesus, there was controversy, or not everyone was Nazis in Germany. There were people that were German that hid Jews in their house. Okay?
There was at least some on both sides of the thing.
Correct. So, I think it's low.
Yeah, over here.
So, you get the idea. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
They make double money going, I just want you to have a normal life. It's like, can you call my I even ask her, what did you mean by that? She won't answer. He goes, they're not operating on any logic or facts.
No.
And anyone that's sane will tell you that every aspect of our lives is based on some level of logic and facts. Every decision we make. Now, when Connie Raya in my father's office is telling me that is working on me with the little murder operations, telling me that her brother is logical and she wants to put him in a mental institution, which is another common thing being done to me, which doesn't make sense. I've never heard of the logic people now being hunted. Okay?
There's no logic.
Without logic and fact, then you're crazy.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
Okay? Okay, think about it. You're walking down the street and some guy kills someone.
Right.
Why did you kill them? I don't know.
I don't know. Right.
He has no logic or fact.
Exactly.
He's crazy.
No reason.
So Connie is crazy. Okay? She's out locking logical people away.
Right.
Okay. Some guy walks down the street, he kills someone. Why'd you kill that person? Well, he stepped on a leaf and that annoyed me. Okay, well now he has some logic and fact.
But
Now he just doesn't give a shit.
The logic and fact don't,
right?
measure up to the
Okay,
crime.
so now he's more like a mobster or something, right? Or
I
just
do
a
what I
fucking.
want, yeah.
Okay, now there's logic and fact. Kevin, why didn't you go to the police? Instantly.
Yeah. Oh, instantly?
Instantly.
Because it's...
Okay, you're noticing an entire planet attacking you.
It's
40 people to
terrifying.
100 people walking by whistling at you per day in every city in the world. What are the logic and fact?
Yeah.
If I walk into that police station, what are the police going to say if I tell them
Like,
that everywhere I go in the
proof?
world, people are whistling at me or doing these similar things like that without the video?
Exactly. Where's your proof?
You're crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so logic and fact is good.
Yeah, I'd be afraid too, yeah.
Okay.
Like thinking like...
That's the setup. That's the frame job. That's what they wanted. That's their gaslighting. Kevin to look crazy in front of the police.
Right.
So we send you to therapy, say you're crazy, and lock you away. Okay. So
and then now you have the evidence, the logic and fact,
correct.
right? And now...
it's not that black and white.
Right.
I didn't go to the police, but I hired private investigators.
And of course you didn't go to the fucking police. Like,
Okay.
that makes sense to me. You're still figuring out yourself. It's like unheard of shit happening. I'd be scared that they wouldn't believe me or whatever, dismiss me. Of course you're not going to go right away. It's terrifying.
Now, Mike Huntley was babbling some crazy shit, but...
That's about to fall off.
It is, actually. It's a good thing you noticed.
I know.
I don't even know, it's like a water heater.
Is
Okay,
it?
so let's say... Mike Huntley was babbling some threatening, crazy shit, but... It's... With the context, I could go into the police station and say, you know, I'm business partners, this guy just flipped on me. They're still not going to do anything, but there might be some kind of record that I made a complaint, but I'm consumed with an unheard of event because it's not just Mike Huntley.
Right.
It's Mike Huntley threatening your life in non-direct messages. He didn't say, I'm going to kill you. Okay? Right. He walked around the office singing World with Paranoia. Okay? Jesus. So what am I going to say to the cops? Now, I'm going to say, well, Mike Huntley's walking around the office singing World with Paranoia and there's random strangers doing paranoid schizo things like 40 people a day in every city in the world whistling at me. You're crazy, Kevin. You don't like people who sing? Right?
Right.
Okay?
But it's like they need the they're not interested in like the backstory.
Correct. They're not interested. And it was designed that way. And guess what? When I walk into the police station, what happens? They start whistling at me. Okay, so now the threat, like you're a whistleblower and we're going to kill you or whatever, is coming from the police. Okay, so now you got to go to the guys. You don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
You've been to several PIs that want you dead. You're trying to get into the police. They're threatening you with hidden messages.
Right. So where do you...
And you have to tell them that there's mass groups trying to kill you with unheard of paranoid schizo methods, which you yourself don't even fully believe, but you know it's happening.
Right.
But you're freaked as shit to say it.
Of course you are. I mean...
And anyone would be. This is a situation that's never occurred on this level. There are tiny gang stalking situations that people are scared shitless over.
You mind driving to the back?
Sure.
Thank you. No, exactly.
But how do you walk into a police station saying there's a worldwide groups to kill me without touching me? I mean, you've seen their reactions.
There's no...
When I prove it. Yeah. When I say my brother went after Gregoire with a crowbar, and they go, well, we don't care. We're not going to help you.
I know.
Okay, so you know instantly they were never going to help me. Ever.
Right.
And you know instantly that they're the ones doing it.
Right.
Okay?
It's such bullshit.
And so now you have to link it back to 5 years old. And we couldn't really focus on much in the lots, I guess. But you now have to link it back to 5 years old.
Right.
And what the fuck's going on? And it's like now you suffer from obsession. Right? Back to the psychological...
It's like, no, you don't. You're putting all these puzzle pieces together to try to make sense of something that is, like, unheard of.
Correct. Okay, so just two pairs backwards, a blue
backwards,
pickup.
two white, one backwards There's a lot right here.
Yeah. There might be something with the name of the hotel. Who knows? Okay, so
Is that a hotel?
I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so nice Lamborghini.
That's
though.
pretty.
That's
mad.
So you get the idea that they were never going to help me, correct? Is that what you're? And you walked in our last a couple of visits. You walked in and you saw their reaction. Okay, why is the cop? I'm sure you have to go, but why is the cop giving me disinformation that I should want to be on the run? I should want to be infamous. I should want to be like Bonnie and Clyde. I should want this. Shouldn't the cop be saying this is unacceptable and we're going to help you?
Absolutely.
Okay, think about this. Think about this. Kevin, I don't know if we can help you, but we're going to do everything possible to help you.
That'd be nice.
Why is there statements, why don't they sound like that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Kevin, we see what's going on.
Right.
And we don't know how much we can do, but we know what's going on and we're going to try to stop it and we're going to contact other agencies. Why is everything, you're crazy and you need to die?
It shouldn't be, at the
and
very
then they
least,
exert the same tactics.
Right. It should at the very least be like, okay, we hear you, like, let me hear more. Or let's see what you got, like, let me see your
So would you say that every aspect of their demeanor is hate and rage towards me?
Yeah, and yes, and
we want you dead?
Go away. Yeah. It's awful.
Okay, so why can't anyone explain why security companies are hunting me, why police are hunting me, why every girl since 5 years old is hunting me, why I kissed a black girl at 8, I'm then a white supremacist in the black community, told to hunt me and exterminate me.
No one can, it doesn't make sense.
No,
so
it's
like,
totally...
That's the biggest question. It's like, why the fuck?
And all these people can probably answer that, but they won't.
No.
Or maybe, I can't fairly say that, because they might answer it on disinformation.
That's right.
Right? Oh, you stalked 10 women. They might say that.
It would be disinformation.
And I get a lot of that. You did this. I mean, I don't know how many accusations. I get accusations that I'm a womanizer, even though I've been single all my life, and I've probably only slept with 1.5 girls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a thief, yet what am I still?
You're a drug dealer. Like all
the cops trying to make me look like a drug dealer, but it all equates to I smoked some joints in college, and Christina Stalinsky in Arizona found out. By the way, my father's family is in Arizona. Just think about the connected people hunting me on IRC. And then saying I'm a drug dealer from it, as if I'm Pablo Escobar.
Right.
And then I'm a troll because Aubrey Fisher, I tapped my foot by Aubrey Fisher, so there's a worldwide campaign to troll me to death 100 billion times a day. It doesn't make sense, right?
No, it doesn't at all. There's no...
So their reasoning
is based
on the disinformation, is based off lies, but it still doesn't make sense because you can't see through the fact that some girl's saying everyone get together and kill Kevin because he tapped his foot by me?
Yeah, the
right?
fuck? I'd be like, bitch, you're not crazy. Like, you're crazy.
So now I believe what's going on is the psychology community is built with the NSA or some organization with the technology, some kind of rap sheet of bullshit from 5 years old, trying to make me be out to be the devil child based on twisting and contorting things out of context, and then feeding people like a TV channel or an internet channel. Look what Kevin did now. Look what Kevin did now. Look what Kevin did now, and none of it's true.
Nobody questions it. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah, because it's like sitting in front of a fucking news channel and they keep obsessing on some situation or a politician, and you actually start to believe. Example, like how many people you see walk around. Now, I'm not saying I really support Donald Trump. I don't give a shit right now about politics, but yeah, Donald Trump, this is years ago, cut some deal with Univision, and now all of a sudden he's a racist. Okay, now people don't normally think like that from someone saying I don't want to work with you, but the news peddles the shit. Right, they instantly believe it. They all go around like fucking stupid sheep, not thinking for themselves, mimicking it or repeating it. And so what's going on is there's this disinformation channel about Kevin Perlman to the world across the internet. Right. And at first it was all collected. Then in '94 it was being put together and spewed out against me. Right. And so they're on a daily basis. Now look what Kevin did. Now look what Kevin did. Now, and they're just blindly believing it after they build this bullshit foundation from 5 years old, which are actually things that were done to me. Right. But my brother's turning it all around, saying I did it to him.
Right. It's insane.
Yeah.
And that's like leads back to the actual like question, like, why in the first place?
Hate, rage, insecurity, fear.
Because you're
maybe
not the kid that they thought you would be, like, or wanted, or like, what is? I don't get it. You're this innocent little boy. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I mean, let's break it down. We got a family, and they have a kid. And I can't tell you exactly when they flipped their lids, but I can tell you around 5, because the movie Wizards is in 1977, and my father took me to the movie theater to see it. Okay?
Right.
And I think, if I recall, I think it was Encino Shopping Mall, which is gone, where they had the movie Valley Girl and the fraternity frat. The one with Spicoli, I can't remember. Okay, the surfer. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is so long ago. You're too young. Okay, so there was a little domey movie there, whatever. So I remember my father taking me to that, and then he starts working the Wizards tactic on me. And I don't even realize they're going on.
Of course not.
So that's 5 years old. Now, what happened at 5 years old? I was playing in the little street gutter, and there was little water going down the street gutter.
Right.
And I got a shovel and a pail, and I got water and mud in the pail, and who knows what I'm doing. And then, okay, I'm done going in, and I grab it, and I throw the mud and water out of the pail, and a car's driving down the street, and I have like tunnel vision at 5 years old, and it goes on the front of the car, and the guy stops, and he gets out, and when you're 5 years old, whoever got out was huge.
Clearly.
Hey! You start crying, and you run in. Okay, now I can't tell you, I can't remember my family's reaction. I don't know if the guy walked in like your son threw some mud on my car. I don't know.
You didn't mean to.
But it doesn't matter, because it's just a kid being a kid.
And you're terrified.
Yeah, now for all I know, my family's going, our kid saw a ghost and this and that, and he's crazy, and we're going to get to the bottom of it, and this with this obsession. Or maybe they're saying Kevin's the devil child and he's trying to cause car accidents.
Right.
Because why is my brother putting I swerve and hit people at random on license plates and saying it's me and all sorts of shit like this, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know.
No, it doesn't make sense at all.
But what I can tell you is Jason was contacted at a young age, say, do these things to Kevin. I can say.
But the fact he did them, like.
Well, I understand that if Jason is 7.
Oh, okay. And his
and
parents?
He doesn't know any better. Remember that when you're a young child, your future is shaped by the morals. Your future is shaped by the morals and ethics that your parents teach you. Jason learned blood is thicker than water. You don't talk or we kill you. We do this.
And
we
then
do
kill
that.
Kevin.
And then because you know too much, deem him as crazy, lock him in mental institution, whatever, right? That's the morals that Jason learned. I don't know how. I don't understand it.
No.
My mother seems to be like that. My father seems to be like that. All my morals came from watching people around me.
That's what,
And you probably have to go, right?
I do.
Okay, so all my morals came from watching everyone around me, and this is very important, how they interacted with each other, and then I found out that when they interacted with me, it was the complete opposite. Do you understand?
I see.
Okay,
yeah.
So Gregoire, let's take Jen Yang's situation out, even though there's nothing there. I like women and I want to date women. I ask women out.
Right.
Okay. And I don't caveman thug them over the head.
No.
I say, hey, do you want to go out on a date? Yeah, no. Okay. So that's where I learned that. Tom Farley. I'm just trying to quickly. What did he? I like to surf.
Mm-hmm.
So every weekend I go down to the beach and surf. So therefore, it's okay to surf and have hobbies and play pool and boogie board while Tom Farley surfed or whatever, because I was never a surfer.
Yeah.
Okay, but now Tom Farley's interactions might change. People aren't allowed to go out and have hobbies and boogie board.
Right.
Kevin. Oh wait, but you're going out and surfing. But it's not directly said. It's thugged behaviorally. If you go out with a boogie board, maybe the police should pull up in a car. Even though these things weren't that aggressive back then, do you understand that the lessons I'm learning are not straight from my family or brother. They're everything around me, and everyone's behaviors are changing when they come by me. So, example, Mr. Quigley would never tell another student to punch someone. He's just telling Kevin. Or Gregoire gets mad because I saved his life. But if it was any other person, he would act the opposite, right? Okay, so all of my moral and ethics come from watching how everyone interacts with each other, but not how they interact with me. Now remember, when they're interacting with me, it's not direct. It's stealth. So you're not picking up on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They're behavioral manipulations, emotional blackmail, nudging. 3 people call me up to get me to come home early from University of Colorado to say I'm stalking my father, Mike Huntley, my own father, and my mother, right? And you're sort of following this path laid out by manipulations.
Exactly.
Okay? But you don't know what they're scheming behind the scenes.
Of course you don't, because you would never come up with anything like that.
I mean, if my mother said, come home to hunt your father, I'd be like, why would I hunt my father? What are you fucking talking about? And by the way, in jail, the police worked that tactic with my father, they put me in the Van Nuys room, and a guy, Wendell, comes in and he starts telling me, you need to take care of your shit and kill your father.
Right.
Okay, well, nobody's gonna fucking tell you that in jail.
Right. Like, come on.
And you can tell that he was contacted by the cops to try to give me disinformation, to get me to say things used against me. I honestly was probably being recorded. And these things happen in every cell and waiting room, by the way. Different tactics, right?
Yeah, everywhere.
Okay, so you can see how people are coming in trying to manipulate me, to set me up, and make it look, and you can link these things back to, hey, Kevin, come home from Colorado. My father calls me up and actually says, for no reason, that I should come home from Colorado. I can live in his house for a year.
Right.
And then tells the world that I'm going after him and Janet and trying to destroy their marriage and things like this. Okay?
Insane.
But it's not said, hey, come home and go after Janet.
No.
It's like, hey, come home. I'm showing you love.
you.
I'm showing you affection. But what am I telling the world?
Right.
Okay,
It's
so you're not...
twisted.
Yeah, it's beyond any fucking level. And then he
uses it against
Janet then goes south, and she goes to jail for 3 years for supposedly
Trying to
solicitation to commit murder. And then you're like, wait, did she even do anything? I mean, look at... It's the same... What's being done to me.
Makes you
And then he sends Shelly after me, right? His next girl or one, right? So it just goes from thing to thing. Yeah, it's like, and you're like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. I cannot. I was in shock for years. I was in shock. I was in tears. I couldn't believe I was fucking seeing this, and not one person. It's not like I broke up with a girl and my life's over.
No.
I'm seeing an entire fucking planet, minute by minute, worldwide, try to kill me with no answer to anything. Okay, think about it.
I would be fucking confused. I wouldn't be.
I'm still confused. I'm like,
exactly. It doesn't make
and
sense.
I'm never going to have that closure of an exact answer, but I know enough that these are pretty much government and psychology sanctioned eradication operations. And if someone wants to give me a factual, logical counter argument that makes sense beyond that, I am fucking
all ears.
Totally welcome to it. I can't say that I'm going to believe you,
but you'll hear it.
But if someone has a good argument that makes sense based on the actual facts and evidence and the situation, not you're imagining it and you're crazy, you need to be locked away, because that's the original label of 5.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. But an actual factual, mature adult conversation above a 10-year-old, yeah, sure, great. But it's not going to happen. And I even stayed on Twitter years ago in 2016. I'm walking in the park. I'm watching these people, mass groups, come out like usual, trying to put me on the ground. I type on Twitter. I wish someone would tell me what this is fucking about already.
Right.
I take a walk around the park. I sit down at a bench. Some people come out across Mary Lee Street, working with Dincy. They come out. They sit down and say, "Hey, Kevin, let's talk." And they play this game. First, you understand the spy tactics because they're not following my account. But they come out, let's talk, and then they call the police before they come out to talk to me. And Dincy's coming out, is on the way, as one girl is sort of playing stupid, like trying to piss me off with stupid shit. The other girl is getting accusatory, trying to get a reaction as Dincy's on the way. By the way, the cops came out twice in 40 minutes that night for taking a walk in the park and sitting on the bench. Yeah, and these things happen hourly, daily. I have now 2 after quarantine, 2 cops following me. You probably heard the one short recording. I have the longer version. 2 cops in one night illegally searching my car, putting me in the back of the police car for no reason.
Right.
2 days ago, once again, out to Decker Canyon. Now, he was trying to be friendly this time. Different guys out in the boonies on a dirt road, trying to be friendly.
Right.
Friendly, jokey. So he was stalking tonight, Kevin, or something like that. So he was stalking. And I said, well, you know, according to LAPD, I'm stalking every molecule in the air since 5 years old or something like that.
Awesome.
Right?
You said that, yeah.
You know, and they're be friendly. I offer him chips and shit and this and that.
Right.
But he's all making weird hints like, he's like, well, we're looking for a stalker. Okay, so I told you about the groups of Priuses and it changes. But and I'm not sure if he was hinting that I'm a Prius because I joked that I'm a hybrid, that I'm stalking people. But of course, the original comments about, you know, why do you have surveillance equipment in your car? Well, I mean, it's not really surveillance equipment. This is a DVR that 30% of the world has, like not the specific one. And this is a camera that I made a magnet mount with, and I just plop it up here because it's just too much of a pain in the ass to get this 4K video all the time.
No, that's awesome.
And I can swivel this and that because I'm being forced to do this. And then it's like, well, you're taking video, pictures of people. Well, I mean, look, whether this camera's here or not, this DVR is going to take video pictures of people, like the security camera in this office here. And the moral of the story is, don't try to kill people if you're going to get on video doing it. Don't.
Exactly.
Hey, you put a security camera in your store, so we're going to keep breaking in your store and bashing your skull in with crowbars because you're ruining our lives.
And don't break into the store.
Right? And they even tried that shit in the courtroom. They're mad at me for having security cameras on my porch.
Right.
I mean, like, how dare I? How do I ruin your life by protecting myself?
Have that. It's not.
I know. It's just, it's insane, right? It's insane. And so you see how they're taking a nothing situation. You farted, and so you try to gas everyone to death. Right? I mean, every situation is the same.
Crazy. It is.
And then my father babbles shit. You think differently than everyone else. You see the brainwashing? It doesn't make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense. They're trying to make
I actually think
crazy.
normal, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're back to gang stalking or cause stalking or community harassment groups, or I'm going, quote unquote, we're going to deem you a crazy. Now that statement was in 2017, but from everything I've said to Brittany here, you can connect the dots that we need to deem Kevin crazy starts at 5.
Right, exactly.
Okay, now Brittany, before you go, who the fuck deems people as crazy on paper?
No. Nobody.
Exactly, right?
No, unless, like we've talked about, like they're gravely disabled. That's not crazy, though.
No,
Nobody
but you don't
anybody.
deem them as crazy.
No,
even
you
if you're
don't.
disabled,
It's
you don't
private.
deem them as crazy.
No, you don't.
Correct, it's private.
It's private. It's confidential.
You don't get court and judicial paperwork saying someone's a loon.
No.
There's no such
supposed to be
thing
anywhere, no.
unless you want to try to eradicate them.
Well, and that's like illegal to do.
Correct.
So you can't share that information.
Okay.
So
And that's why they pawn it off like, oh, Kevin, you should be proud of this. You're Mr. Tough Guy. But we got paperwork saying you're crazy, so we have leverage over you.
yeah.
Okay, so you'll agree that this is unheard of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Starts at 5. We need to label Kevin as crazy. Kevin runs in crying. But what kind of family is this?
Not.
Now, there's this thought that's been going through my head the last month, and I don't want to. Obviously, we don't have time to talk about it. We have a cousin. Distant cousin, relative named like Grandpa Jake or something. I don't even really know my family history, but I've heard my father state something like he was crazy and slept with a lot of women and had to leave the country.
What? Okay.
And I've never taken the time to give a shit.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that will explain my family's personality. Like maybe Grandpa Jake probably wasn't that crazy and maybe he slept with a lot of girls.
Have you reached out to him?
No, I mean he's long dead. This is like a great.
Oh,
It's a part of like my family's history tree. There's kind of like labels thrown on him. And I have a feeling if I did the research, because I never really gave a shit, it would come down to he probably just slept with a lot of women, maybe had a few children, and a family deemed him as crazy and made him an outcast, or what's the word, excommunicated.
Yeah.
We don't And who knows? Maybe they did what they did to me,
Right.
showing they're like bigoted, racist family with zero tolerance. There are families like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so obviously you can't apply Grandpa Jake or whatever to me.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I haven't been with many women because it never gets past any stage because it's sabotage.
Because of everything.
Yeah. And by the way, like asking women out at coffee shops, I've only asked one out in any coffee shops. So you can't say that I'm asking 100,000 women out and it's pissing everyone. Okay, or gyms or anything. So
it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So whatever. So yeah, I'm getting a little sidetracked. I know,
okay. Yeah, I have to go.
Okay.
But next week.
Sure, next
Longer.
week. Okay, so we're gonna cut it off here.
Okay.
You got the idea. They're all full of shit. And the reason I'm talking about 100 million things is because there's 100 billion things that aren't answered. Okay, so till next week.